Hey guys, you are watching Jett Plays, and this time we are going back in time. This is X Men, best known as the arcade game from the late 80s slash early 90s. At least that's where I remember it. I'm playing this on Xbox Live, though it's also available on PSN, and I believe you can get this on your iPhone as well nowadays. Alright, let's get this game going here. Oh, I noticed another headphone fail. Let me plug my headphones into my TV so I can hear what the sound is like. I apologize, guys. Alright, let's go into this local game. Oh, did I pick the right ROM? Okay, yeah. And to start, of course, I gotta go with my favorite, Wolverine. So, I think my very first interaction with the X-Men might actually be the arcade game. So I know there were the comics dating all the way back to the 60s and stuff, but I don't think I really remember the X-Men until this game came out. And what caught my eye about it... yeah, you tell him, Professor X. What caught my eye about it was the 6-player arcade game of... yeah, just a game that supported 6 people at once was crazy to me. It was a giant cabinet that I think had 2 or 3 screens. The action was split across 2 or 3 screens. And it just looked so cool. And I think that's ultimately what got me into it. And then from there, I watched the X-Men cartoon, which you can find on Netflix now in its entirety. I still think it's a great show. Having gone back and watched a few of those episodes recently, it was just really progressive for its time, and it wasn't like a lot of the kid shows. Oh my goodness, this guy's just kicking my butt. The kid shows at the time where it was just kind of a single episode thing, and then everything was finished. Like, you'd get a piece of that story, and you'd have to wait till next week to see where the thread ultimately goes, and the drama that happens between the X-Men themselves and then the fighting between the bad guys, I just thought was so well done. And ahead of its time. And I've kind of been an X-Men fan ever since. Though, admittedly, I haven't really read any of the comics. I do, like, read online every now and then to see kind of where things are at or where things are going. I really want to read the comics. If I was gonna do any of them, I would probably want to do X-Men, but I just have no idea where to even start at this point, because there's like 50 years of legacy that I have to catch up on, and I just don't know where to start. I have a Wolverine graphic novel that I did buy last year at Fan Expo that I got for like $3. I guess I should start there because that's what I have, but yeah, I don't know, I just haven't taken the time to actually sit down and read this thing. So, I mean, as for this game itself, I mean, it's... at the time, the allure of this machine was pretty high, of getting 6 of your friends to play it at once. But, I mean, you take it outside of that, and you're playing this game with infinite lives, and it turns out to be really short and not all that interesting because you're just mashing that same button over and over again. So, I mean, I haven't used Wolverine's special. I mean, you get your attack, your jump attack, and oh, alright, it's Pyro. There you go, shut up. Oh no. Okay. Oh no. Get in there. Get him, Wolverine. No jumping for you. Okay, you're a fraud. I've exposed your pattern. Oh no! Oh, I let him out. But yeah, I've watched a bunch of the X-Men movies. Of course, Marvel vs. Capcom is one of my favorites. And I've taken a shining to particular characters through that game. Wolverine was my favorite even outside of the games, but in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Wolverine is my boy. He is just a really fast and aggressive player that likes to be in your face, and paired with the right assists, you can just go nuts. Or you can throw caution to the wind and just run in, claws ablazing. And that's what I really enjoy about him. More recently, my Marvel fandom has spread into the tabletop world, where one of my favorite games is Legendary, made by Upper Deck. It's a deck building game, so very loosely like Dominion, I'd say a little more like Ascension, where the pool of cards you are drawing from is like a lineup of cards which gets refreshed with different cards as people start drawing more and more. And I think it's great. I guess the big knock on it is that it's a little complicated to set up because there's a lot of different cards and card types, and so setting up the game takes up like 15 to 20 minutes when you have to grab all the different enemies, the villains and henchmen, scheme twists, and all of that. But when you set it up and you actually get into the action, I think it's actually really cool how it's a deck building mechanic, which, I mean, if you've played Dominion, the theme, it kind of feels like you're collecting cards to collect cards. And in Legendary, it really feels like you are superheroes fighting against the bad guys. So that is one that I like to play. I'm slowly starting to get our group of board game players into it, try it out, and we've lost like every single time, but they really enjoy it, at least the core concept of it, and are willing to try more. I think the big mistake that we've also made in Legendary is that you can vary the difficulty quite a bit based on the masterminds you choose, so they're kind of the main bad guys. Some of the main bad guys in that game include Magneto, Doctor Doom, Loki, and Red Skull. And we tend to pick some of the guys with the higher health, and that tends to be a problem. And we also tend to pick like the henchmen and the villains based on who we recognize, and the heroes as well, where I think it's very common, oh, we're going to pick Wolverine, and we're going to pick Hulk, and all these guys, but they don't necessarily make for the best combination of guys to face off. Like, we're, I guess, unintentionally making the game harder for ourselves in that way, so it's going to take some experimentation until we find the right set of cards that we can manage. Because if you can set that game up in a way where you will just get destroyed all the way through. Yeah, you guys remember this song, just the X Men over and over again. What do we have on this now? What else is going on in the Marvel Universe? There's another X Men movie on the way. I'm excited to see that, where they kind of mix the X Men First Class worlds with the 3 previous movies. Interested to see where they go with that. Then also in Legendary, while we're talking about that, not quite sure when this video is coming out, but there's a Spider-Man expansion for that game that is set to be released, or out by now, and I may have it and may have reviewed it on the site inthirdperson.com. My Wolverine is about to die here. This is... oh, alright. Let's pick someone else. Oh. What's the vibe? Oh, man, I didn't want to pick Wolverine again. I wanted to pick someone else. Alright, well, we'll just let it rock. Alright, so I know the action here isn't all that exciting. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about. I thought that I could fill this up with just talk about other X-Men things. And, yeah, Legendary was kind of the big one, so that Spider-Man expansion. I'm hoping it's good. I really liked the Dark City expansion, but that was the big, meaty expansion where they added a bunch of stuff to it. The Spider-Man one is a lot smaller, not necessarily the best bang for your buck, but if you want to play as the symbiote Spider-Man, the black one, or if you want to play Scarlet Spider and fight Carnage, then it's a set you'll have to... you won't have to get it, but that's the one you're going to want to spend the extra money for. Alright, so we're just cutting through this factory right now. Other X-Men happenings. My dream cosplay. So I don't really dress up. Steph has gotten really into the whole cosplay thing. Like, she dressed up this year at Fan Expo. She had different costumes for like every single day, and she even joined this group that was going for the world record of the most Daleks in one room. And last I heard, they got the record. She is due to get a Guinness Book of World Records certificate to officially denote the fact that she is a world record holder, which is kind of cool. I don't know about you guys, but if you haven't dated a Guinness Book of World Record holder, it is pretty awesome. Alright, this is the Blob. Let's go. Let's go. Going ham on this guy right now. Oh. Alright. I'll just unleash my power here, which I have not been using very much of. It doesn't really make sense. Wolverine does not let out the crazy slash thing. So she dresses up for Fan Expo every year, and she's been asking me all the time to dress up with her. I don't know, cosplay not really my thing. I don't really dress up at Halloween either. I have dressed up a little more for like parties and stuff where dressing up is kind of a requirement, but I'm still not really into it. But I have told her that, okay, can I choose a different character? I don't know how to do that without... Oh, maybe I'm supposed to let it die? I think that was what I was supposed to do. Anyway. I've told her if I was going to do one costume, the one costume I would want to do more than anything is Mango Sentinel. So Mango Sentinel, of course, referring to the Sentinel color variant in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where it's the New York Knicks colors. Oh no, what happened to Professor X?
However, we had time to locate their base on
Oh nice, I got an achievement. Right, so I think we're going to wrap this up here. I don't know if you guys really want to watch me play through all of this game. I mean, it's going to take like half an hour. The action's really not all that interesting. Like, sure, it was great for the time, but it's really hard to justify owning this one now. I mean, unless you strictly want in for the nostalgia factor, and that's fine. But otherwise, you probably could pass on this. There's better X-Men games out there. Oh, I didn't even talk about X-Men games. Admittedly, I have not played too many besides this, and... Oh! Okay, we're going to keep this going, because there's one other game that we have to talk about, and I have to find a way to stream it someday, because the Elgato doesn't do it. But, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse on the Super Nintendo is fantastic. That is a X-Men game developed by Capcom, and it basically plays like a mix of Mega Man X meets Street Fighter. So how it worked was, each level, I mean, the game starts out with levels dedicated to specific characters, so there would be like a Beast level, a Wolverine level, a Psylocke level, and each character had specific abilities specific to them. Like Wolverine could like climb up walls, Beast could hang upside down, Cyclops had his big blast, so on and so forth. And so you'd go through these 2D side-scrolling levels, but then you'd also have special moves which were inputted through Street Fighter commands. So Wolverine had a Shoryuken in the game, and so on and so forth. And it's actually really good. And unfortunately, I think it got overlooked. Okay, I'm gonna let the timer run out. No! Ah! I thought I could press the button to make the timer go faster, and I hit the wrong button. But, oh well. So where was that? Okay, so one of the games that you have to track down if you own a Super Nintendo is X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, because it is great. One of my favorite Super Nintendo games, and one that I feel has been horribly overlooked, and I think forgotten, because it hasn't like come back out ever since, and I don't think it sold particularly well back in the day, but it is so good. I mean, is there a chance of it coming back? I guess maybe now better than ever, since Capcom did develop that game, and Marvel's now owned by Disney, and they have a relationship now because they did DuckTales Remastered. I would love to see that game come back, but I don't know. At the very least, I would like to see it pop up on virtual consoles so that people can play it on a modern platform, because I don't think it's particularly easy to find nowadays, and it also requires you to hook up a Super Nintendo, so there's that. I think now I'm going to wrap it up, because I've talked about all the X-Men things that I wanted to say, so thank you so much for watching this Jett Plays. I know this game is not the most exciting, but hey, if you still get the warm and fuzzies from watching this X-Men arcade game, I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. So, if you want to watch more of my videos, you can check me out at youtube.com/Jett in third person, so that's Jett in third person, all in one word. You can check out more of my writing and my videos at inthirdperson.com, and also I write for a site called splitkick.com with a bunch of others, and we post a whole bunch of cool stuff there as well. So until next time, thank you very much for watching this Let's Play, and I hope you come back for the next one.